Excuse me, could you point me in the direction of ScreamCity? Never mind, I think I found it.
Hello, horror freaks. Welcome back to ScreamCity. I'm your host, Jessica.
And I'm Monica. And in today's episode, we will be reviewing another summer slasher film, The Burning from 1981.
Yes, and if you're a little confused as to why we're not doing a guest for today's episode, we had a few setbacks, but we'll definitely get to our guest episode soon. But of course, before we continue on with the movie, let's get life out of the way. So, Monica, any jump scares these past couple of days?
I really enjoy that phrase. That phrase is really good. I like it. Yeah. Jump scares? Honestly, no. I think I've been pretty content for the past couple of weeks. The biggest, I think, thing is just Julie's wedding. It was a lot of fun, very filled with love.
Yes.
And yeah, it was just a lot of fun, and I always enjoy having all of us together in any type of setting that we can get each other together. But that was a lot of fun. And then getting to watch this movie. I always say watching a new movie for any reason is always a good thing, because I feel like I don't do that enough anymore. So, yeah. How about you? Any jump scares?
No jump scares. Same thing.
We've been writing life a little too.
Yeah. Let's keep it that way.
Right.
Let's keep it that way. No big jump scares. Like Monica mentioned, we did go to Julie's wedding, which again was so beautiful, and we did definitely shed a few tears.
I shed way too many.
Yeah. But it was beautiful, and it was, like Monica mentioned, it was great. I love when we're able to have all the girls together in the same setting.
Yeah.
Because life and adulthood.
Life happens too much, and then it gets in the way. We can't all hang out at once, but it felt good.
But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I feel like there was something else I wanted to mention, but I can't really think of it. But yeah,
fall is practically upon us.
Yes.
That is something to be very happy about.
Yes. I will say, personally, like, I haven't really gone to any store in the past, like, month.
Me either.
For me to be like, code orange.
The only time that I caught on was when I bought things from Bath and Body Works in, like, June. And they had their fall.
That's what's up.
Their fall collection was showing up, and I was like, yes. It smells like autumn.
Yes. Yeah. I haven't, like, really seen, like, anything super Halloween-y or fall. But then again, I haven't really gone out at all.
That too. That too.
But yeah, I'm excited for fall.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, finally getting into the movie. Like we mentioned in every episode, there will be spoilers, so don't say that we didn't warn you. So to give a brief summary for the movie. A former camp caretaker, horribly burned from a prank gone wrong, lurks around an upstate New York summer camp bent on killing the teenagers responsible for his disfigurement. Damn. It was getting... I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
With, like, Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
I loved it.
Okay.
Yeah. But now that we have that out of the way, Monica, what was your first impression watching this film for the first time, and what would you say is your favorite scene and kill?
Okay. So I will say, kind of looking at our little script here, they're pretty much identical, like our things.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is a bad thing, because I think a lot of the times we actually sometimes have different scenes and kills and all that good stuff. But I think for this one, it's a pretty straightforward movie, and I think you can really only go one way with liking certain scenes and kills. So just putting that out there. But anyway, so yes, I had just watched this movie for the first time last night. I'm going to be honest and say that I didn't even know this movie existed until recently. And I will say I actually really liked it. I honestly didn't think I would, but I liked it more than I thought. Like, I had pretty low expectations for this movie, and they kind of exceeded that, which is why I'm saying that I actually enjoyed it. There were some questionable scenes.
Oh, very.
But nonetheless, like, I loved the 80s theme. Well, it's not even a theme. It was the 80s.
Yeah.
But, like, the style, and then just, like, it's a typical 80s slasher movie, and I enjoyed it. So for my fave scene, I'll say that the camp scene, but I like the campfire scene, sorry. But I like both, because I mean, I feel like they're the same thing. So the campfire scene where like Todd is like telling his story of Cropsy. Whenever we were watching it, Mateo was like, because we don't really know that Todd was one of the kids until like technically the end.
Yeah.
But whenever he was telling his story, and I was like, that's too detailed.
Yeah.
I was like, you know way too much, and I have a feeling that you're one of the kids.
Yeah.
Which, like, yeah. But yeah, I mean, because there's nothing beats the sound of like crackling wood and a spooky story at night. And like crickets.
I was like,
yeah, like, oh my god,
ASMR.
this is so nice. Yeah, it was really fun to watch. And then the same thing for the end. Like, I like how they included another little campfire scene like for the ending.
Yeah.
I thought it was really nice. Although I don't know who that is telling the story.
I think it's a completely different camp.
Just like someone different.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like Todd older, which he didn't look older. He looked completely different.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't think it's Todd.
Kind of blonde, so.
But I also didn't know if it was like Alfred. But I was like, no, I don't think so.
I think it was a completely different.
Just someone
like
random
year, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess so, because I think he said that he attacks like local camps or something like that. So I don't know. But anyway, I thought that was good. I just was lost on who that was. Now, Faith Kill. So I did really enjoy the montage kill scene, because I really will say I don't think we get that in a lot of slasher movies now. Like, we don't get, like, I thought that was like the idea of that, or like the creation of that kill scene was like pretty cool, because it's like they're just floating on water.
Yeah.
And then he just, what I thought is I thought that they were going to find Carrie's body in the canoe.
Same.
And I thought they were gonna like freak out and be like, "Oh my god!" And
I was not expecting,
and I wasn't expecting Cropsy to like pop up and just fucking mass kill everyone. And there was like a good 7 people on that little floaty thing.
May I just say, I appreciate a good montage killing scene, because you just knock as many as you can out.
You just knock them all out.
You know,
yeah,
and like
you get your job done.
And like, listen, I do love me a good suspense like kill and whatever.
Right.
But sometimes you just gotta get on with the show and just kill as many as you can.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta get them all out. I mean, to be fair, it's also a summer camp, so like, there's quite a few of them. So the more the better, all at once, you know.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it, and so I think that's also why I liked it, because it caught me off by surprise. I was like, whoa. I like how he like chopped off fingers. He like slashed those scissors like into like someone's little like.
It was Eddie.
Was it Eddie?
Eddie's throat.
Yeah, like Eddie's throat.
He slashed that girl's like forehead.
Oh my god, that was funny.
And
she was like,
he pushed what's her name off the raft. I'll talk about her later, but she was silly goofy.
She was still a goofy mood.
Girl.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I also liked how, I mean, the premise of that scene was just to kill everyone, but I like how no one tried to jump off and was like trying to catch him from the back, or like, I don't know. But I was like, all right, whatever. But another scene that I really liked, the kill scene, was when Todd slammed the axe into Cropsy's. Was it the axe? Was it an axe?
Yeah,
I think it was an axe.
I think it was an axe.
He just slapped it onto Cropsy's face, and then blood just started gushing out, and then he got set on fire again. And I was like, damn.
Double homicide.
Literally. And I was like, damn, my bad, bro.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. So, yeah. But what about you?
Yeah, first impression, I watched this for the first time yesterday. I didn't hate the movie. I did think it had a few weird scenes, but again, we'll get into those a little bit later. I didn't necessarily like love the movie. It's not going to be on my top 10 or anything.
Right.
But I didn't hate it, you know? I was telling my sister this yesterday. I was like, would I watch it again? Maybe if it was like playing on someone's TV and I happen to walk by. And she was like, so no?
So like, no.
Like, actually, listen, while I was watching it, I was like, this is pretty good. But then, like, once the movie ended, I was like...
You kind of, like, sit with it for a little bit. It's like the same with when you read something.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll read something and then I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then, like, I sit with it and I'm like, it wasn't that great.
Yeah. I have a few things against this movie, but they're the things that I think we both agree on.
Yeah,
that we'll get into a little bit later.
Okay.
But overall, like, genuinely, it was just a pretty good, like, summer 80s slasher film, which you can never go wrong with.
Oh, absolutely not.
You can never go wrong with.
I thought this movie was good.
My favorite scene, like Monica mentioned, we literally chose the exact same
Yeah,
things.
we did. Sorry.
So, favorite scene, again, I like the campfire scene where Todd is telling the story about Cropsy and all of that. And funny enough, during that scene, in my mind, I was like, what the fuck happened to Eddie? Because, like, you saw him...
because you don't see him.
You saw him for, like, a second during the baseball scene, and then you did not see him at all
really
after that. And then he shows up, and I was like, crazy.
I see. Got it.
I'm gonna fuss at him.
Yeah.
But he was gross, so I hate him.
He was gross.
Favorite kill, again, the montage scene. Because, again, like, when do you rarely see montage, like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't get that many in a lot, especially in, like, slasher films.
I think, and I could be 1,000% wrong, maybe, like, the two most recent ones that I can think of is Scream at the gas station. Scream 6. When they're at the convenience store. He kills, like, I don't know, 2 guys. I don't know if you really consider that a montage. And then Evil Dead Rise, she kills the brothers and the neighbor.
Kind of like back.
Yeah.
Oh, when she's like in the hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Terrifier 2, he just lets the gun rip and kills that whole dream scene.
Yeah.
And he just kills everyone. I'm thinking more like that, like, but Cropsy, like, he just had one tool.
Yeah,
and he
true.
was just.
That's true.
And that's what I thought was just really cool.
Yeah, I liked it. I really liked it.
I liked it too.
But yeah, like Eddie, Woodstock, Jane. Oh, I think Jane is the girl that I was talking about. The little
Jane.
bimbo, the one that she had a little ponytail, and she.
Was she blonde? No, right? She had like bangs too.
Yeah. Girl, she was a bimbo.
She was silly goofy.
She was silly
very
goofy.
much so.
But yeah, like he chopped up Woody's fingers.
Eddie's throat,
which was very well deserved.
I agree.
But yeah.
Push Jane into the water. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, when he sliced that forehead, I said, oh. I was like, he must have gone deep enough for her to just knock out. Because I'm like,
I don't really remember how he killed Jane. I just remember seeing her get pushed off the raft.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he did something.
Maybe drown her or something. Or before. Yeah. I don't know. No, I agree. I thought, because we do get a different kill scenes, but I think just this one is something that we don't get to see a lot of.
Very often, yeah.
Which I think these are like the little pinpoints that I am enjoying of the movie overall, even though there's like some things that I was like, what? But nonetheless, like, it did the job, you know? Yeah. Like, I liked it. I enjoyed it. Okay, moving on. So we're going to go ahead and discuss the movie a little bit. We'll mention some favorite scenes, some not so favorite scenes, and just kind of overall movie stuff. So, you want to go first?
Sure. I just want to get this out of the way because I say this in almost every 80s film that we watch. The outfits slay. As they do.
Oh, they did. I liked it a lot.
Michelle's, like, little jeans and, like, high-waisted jeans and, like, the
I love Michelle.
Shirt. I love Michelle.
Michelle.
She's for the girls.
She really is. She's like, don't fuck with my girls.
Exactly.
She's like, because one thing you're going to regret is fucking with my
100%.
She's like, I'm here for my women.
Yes.
Absolutely. Good for her.
Tiger's outfit was also really cute when she, like, the first time we see her and she's, like, running to go get the baseball. During the baseball scene,
yes, I liked it. And then did you see, because she had like a bob, right? It was like a short little blonde bob. Did you see that whenever she got back on the field, she did like the hair flip?
Yes.
She like bent all the way down, she picked it back up, and she just shook it. And I said, ooh, that is amazing.
She slays. But yeah.
Let's see. So there's a girl. Is it Tiger? I don't think it's Tiger. There's a girl in the group who has like more of like it's not a bob, but it's not a pixie cut. It's kind of in the middle. She looks 12. She looks younger because she's shorter than all the rest of the girls and everyone else. But there is the scene where she has a cigarette in her mouth, and I was very confused because I thought she was literally 10. And I was very
I wouldn't
concerned.
doubt it for many reasons. Number one, we're in the early 80s.
This was early 80s, coming out of the 70s. But
and number two, there's a lot of things in this movie where they're teenagers, right? And they shouldn't be doing stuff, number one, but also they shouldn't have been filmed.
Yeah.
Which, okay, now let's get that out of the way.
Okay.
Can we just like
there's a lot of nudity.
A lot of nudity, and like obviously I don't, whatever. But what I don't like is, and I probably should have done my research, but I don't know how old these actors or actresses were.
Not when they were making it.
But I felt very uncomfortable, like
watching this.
Like full on, like head to toe nudity.
Yeah, especially for women, yes, because we get boobies, we get butt, and we get some little bush scene of one of the girls walking into the lake, and and then we see guys' butts,
which.
That was a lot.
But also I feel like that was a trend back in the 80s, because if you think about Sleepaway Camp,
it was the same thing. So whenever we were watching this, Mateo pointed something out that I was kind of like, I guess I can see now, understand. But I mean, so I feel like once we got to the 70s, like late 70s, and got into the 80s, we started to become very like
comfortable, maybe
not comfortable, but like sex, nudity, girls, like not, like women being women and women rights and everything. Like it was a very, very taboo thing back in like the 50s and the 60s. So once we started entering that era of being more open and open spoken or outspoken about things, and like shining more light on things that shouldn't have to be taboo, we entered the 70s and 80s. And I feel like that's why we see this trend of girls in bikinis, girls being nude, guys even showing like certain...
I can't really it's just not coming to my mind, but for the 90s, I can't really think of a movie that really shows that much nudity. And then you fast forward 10 years later or whatever, you get to the early 2000s and early 2010s, and you see a shit ton of nudity again.
Yeah. So, I think it's just a progression of of maybe what needs to be included to make a film like R-rated, PG-13, and things like that. And then also includes with just like how we progress as like a society, and just knowing like when to kind of stand ground and being like, this is okay because this is the message we're trying to send, right. Just kind of things like that. And this is like I think this is a perfect example to show like media is very heavily influenced by like everything that goes on behind the scenes of like politics and yada yada whatever. But I feel like that's maybe where we start seeing, because it's true, because I mean like 50s 60s we get like black and white movies, and it's all about romance, and it's all about like going to war, and it's all about like feeling very poetic, being very strong. And then you enter like 70s 80s, and it's like fun, and it's like woo, and it's like all of these introducing this like new era. And then of course people in the 50s 60s are like, oh my god. Then we enter 90s, and then it's very like fashion, and it's like we're fun and silly.
I will say though, like, last two things that I kind of want to point out about this topic, is I'm all for like expressing yourself and like being open, whatever. But again, like I don't know how old the actresses were, and I feel like that is the part that makes me really uncomfortable, because they're literally, to me, children.
They looked very
and they probably were.
Yeah.
But also, may I just add that, and I hate to even say his name, but Harvey Weinstein, whatever, how the fuck you say his name, was one of the writers in this movie. And I don't know if, I'm sure you're aware, but he has so many sexual accusations against him, and I could be wrong, but and don't quote me on this, I could be completely could have read it completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure while I was doing my research on this movie, this was one of the first movies that he got a sexual accusation from, or
like this movie itself.
And if you think about it, he was one of the writers, and of course he writes for one of the main characters to be in like apologist or whatever. Like, I fucking hated Todd. First of all, I hated every male character in this movie except for Dave and Woodstock. But Todd for being like defending Eddie and Alfred.
So my thing with Alfred is like I was honestly a little confused as to his character, because he could have been a peeping Tom, but the way that he was playing his character, he looked like he felt guilty whenever he said, he was like, I was just trying to scare her, but he looked like he was like, I meant to, and then like it turned into something else, and then I got scared, so then I ran away, whatever. So he could have been a peeping Tom, but like he was also really like, I'm not justifying his character and like him, being a creep and like trying to find everyone, because then we see him
Glazer.
He was a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Glazer.
He was like the epitome of like a no brain
Bro,
jock. Like
but
that's why he was like this very big himbo, but also like, I'm gonna beat you up. And I'm like,
he's the epitome of like an 80s jock to me.
Yeah.
But like also respectfully, and like nothing against Larry Joshua. I mean, I actually don't really know anything about Larry Joshua, so if he's a bad person, I'm sorry. But Glazer looks like he's pushing 42.
He did. I was like, what are you doing in this camp, bro?
Exactly.
I was like, you look like you was supposed to be paying taxes.
Yes.
And you got a whole mortgage.
Yes.
No, I agree. But yeah, so I'm not justifying it, but I think Todd did see Alfred kind of like, are you acting this way because you're bullied, or are you kind of, and so I feel like he was trying to find a way to protect him.
Yeah.
And then with Eddie, I think Eddie as a character is supposed to show us just kind of like, you know,
I
whatever.
will say, like, as much as I don't really agree with Todd or whatever, that man fine as hell.
He is. He's very handsome. He was very nice to look at. He had oh my gosh. Why did I blank on his name? His character name. From Evil Dead. Like original.
Yes.
He was giving denim.
Sean. Wait. No. Wait.
Oh my god, why am I blanking on his character?
Bro.
Is it Alex?
No. Anyway. Ash. Yes, he was also giving me Ash vibes.
He
with
was.
his
He was.
outfit.
I agree.
I was going to say that too.
He was. Yeah, he was giving Ash.
Not Sean.
Not.
Or Alex. I was like, who the fuck is Alex? I was like,
It's what I'm laughing at. It's like
we were so
Sean, Alex, but if you put them together, it's Ash.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we were close,
okay,
we
we were very close. Anyway, okay, moving on.
Anyway.
Yes, he was giving me Ash from Evil Dead
Yes,
because
bro.
I was like, oh my gosh, like
It's like the outfit and everything.
the outfit, the style, the hair, and the like.
You know who he kind of reminded me of? And like, this is gonna be so random, but you know the Brady Bunch movie that came out in the 90s?
No, I don't think I've seen it.
Well, you suck.
Okay.
But anyway, the guy who plays okay, he gave me very like, and again, this is so random. He gave me Greg Brady vibes from the Brady Bunch
Greg
movie.
Brady from Brady Bunch.
Like the actual actor, which is Christopher Daniel Barnes.
Okay.
I thought he kind of looked like him, and I know it's like the most random comparison ever in the
Okay.
world. Just thought I just wanted to point
You just
that
want to
out.
put that out there.
Yeah.
I wish I could, you know, I wish I could justify your thing. I just don't know who you're talking about because I've never seen. I actually never really grew. Like I know who the Brady Bunch is, and I
Yeah.
know what they are, and like what the show and stuff is. I've never seen.
I went through a massive 60s, 70s, and 80s
Yeah.
phase in high school. I own like
I love that.
DVDs from the
I've
Brady Bunch and
never-
the Partridge Family.
Never seen it.
So you could quiz me. and
Okay.
I would know everything.
I'm gonna hold you up on that, and we're gonna do that. But anyway,
Real quick, speaking on comparisons, and I don't know if you got the same vibe, but Woodstock reminded me. He gave me huge like Noah Schnapp and Jaden Martell vibes.
oh yeah, I
Right?
guess I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that. It wasn't my first thought, but now thinking about it, yeah, I can definitely see that. I will say, like, I like the actor who plays Woodstock. Like now, he's really good. He's even like, I think he's directed some
He's
things
in a
too.
lot of things.
He's in a whole lot of things. I think a couple of these guys, like, I was like, they all look so familiar.
Yeah.
But then I realized, like, they all just kind of have that 80s face where, like, they're all very young and, like, pretty looking.
I think the most well-known or like most popular one now is probably Jason Alexander, which we'll get into the cast a little bit in a second. But yeah, no, like this cast, surprisingly, I think has more like famous people now than Sleepaway Camp did.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Okay. Well, I guess now speaking about the cast, you can go ahead and start naming some people.
So, yes, I will be naming almost everyone in this movie, so it's going to be a second. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
All
okay?
right, and
We've
go.
got Brian Matthews as Todd, Leah Aries, maybe, as Michelle, Brian Backer as Alfred, Larry Joshua as Glazer, Jason Alexander as Dave, Ned Eisenberg as Eddie, Carrick Glenn as Sally, Fisher Stevens as Woodstock, Lou David as Cropsy, Shelley Bruce as Tiger, and Holly Hunter as Sophie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, like I said, watching these, Mateo noticed them a lot better than I did because, I mean, this movie came out in the 80s, and looking at them now, I'm like, they're real balding.
Oh.
A lot of them are balding.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't recognize them.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. They all had full head of hair.
Listen, for some reason, when I saw Dave... Well, okay. Actually, let me start off with the one that I did recognize at first. I knew Alfred looked familiar, so when I looked him up, I realized that he was on Fast Times at Richmond High, which was one of my all-time favorite movies when I was in high school.
Okay.
It's an 80s... mid or late... I think it's mid. Mid 80s movie. It's kind of like Pretty in Pink vibes, cute. Breakfast Club vibes, all that. It was one of my all-time favorite movies. I still own it on DVD because it's amazing.
Nice.
So yeah, I knew Alfred looked familiar. Now Jason Alexander, Dave, he's still kicking.
He is.
I think is most famously known for Seinfeld, yeah. As George.
Yeah.
He's also on Pretty Woman. Fun fact, he's on My Boyfriend's Meds with Jaime Camil.
I don't think I've seen that.
I haven't either. But the fact that he was in a movie with Jaime Camil is so cool to me because I love Jaime Camil.
I haven't seen that.
He's also on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Young Sheldon, and like a shit ton more.
Oh, okay.
Like he's thriving.
Oh, nice.
Fisher Stevens, which is Woodstock, is also in a few like more recent stuff. He's in a lot of Wes Anderson films, which I thought is pretty cool. And he's also on Succession. And Holly Hunter, who plays Sophie, is also in a lot of stuff. She was on Mr. Mayor with Ted Danson, which I love that man. She was also on Succession. She was on The Big Sick. And I don't know if you ever watched this movie. She was on 13.
Wait, the movie?
Yes.
Oh my God. Is she the blonde girl? No.
I mean, she wasn't one of the girls. She wasn't one of the, she wasn't one of the girls who played.
Obviously, because the one is Nikki Reed. Yeah. She was on Twilight.
Yeah.
Who was she?
That's a great question.
Okay. I was like, oh my God.
To be fair, I haven't watched the movie in literally 1,000 years.
That movie was a personality trait for me.
It was
oh my God, that was a movie.
Girl.
Damn, did I want to be one of them
Me
so
too.
bad. Anyway.
Yeah. I think she was obviously like one of the
I feel
older.
like maybe she's one of the aunts because I know who plays the mom and I know who one of the girls is. The other girl, way too young. I feel, and then like, there's like a scene where they're like at her aunt's house and they're doing her hair. I don't know what. So it could be maybe someone like that, but interesting. Yeah. I did not know that. That's so cool to know.
Pretty good cast, honestly. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I like the cast. I think everyone did really well, and I'm honestly very glad to see a lot of them now.
Yeah. Oh, and this is so random, but can I just say, and I know I said this about Sleepaway Camp 2, I love the way that they speak in this movie. Like, I forgot
too.
I forgot who it was. It was one of the girls, but after Alfred, did that whole, like, peeping Tom, whatever, one of the girls was like, he's a real spooky, that Alfred. Like, I don't know, I love the way that they talk. And they have a, like, super thick New York accent, because they're from New York, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
And Dave had a
really Dave did have one, too.
Thick accent,
Glacier, there was a point where he was trying to talk to, who was the girl that he was trying to talk to? Or that he
Sally?
was like, was it Sally? Yes, it was Sally. Yeah, and she was like, he was like, hey, I'm talking to her here. And then, like, he would repeat after him, and it was, like, really so funny. So, yeah, so getting into some of the facts about the movie now that we've gotten the cast out of the way. So, I don't know if you guys remember when we talked about Friday the 13th. Oh, wait, this is part 2. Sorry. Okay, so Tom Savini turned down Friday the 13th part 2 from 1981 to actually work on this movie, which I will say, Cropsy did look pretty scary.
He did, but another fun fact that I read, too, is that Tom wasn't necessarily very happy with the way that Cropsy turned out because he only had 3 days to work on him.
Oh, shit.
But, like, I wouldn't have
guessed
noticed.
that. No, I wouldn't have
Because
noticed.
I thought he looked, like, creepy, obviously, but, like, I thought he looked really
I thought he looked really good, too. Yeah. I mean, you are your worst critic, right? Yeah. So I completely understand, especially if this is, like, your profession and you're like, I could have done better if I would have had more time, 100%. But I think for 3 days, that looks amazing.
Hey, I would have done worse in like 10 weeks.
I would have been like, make him look like a mummy and stuff. Yeah. Like, I would just make him look awful. Yeah. Which is kind of the point. I mean, he's a burn victim, but still, Yeah. And I think he looked really good. Mm-hmm. And I can only imagine maybe what it would have looked like if he had more time to work on it. Yeah. But it looked good nonetheless. Yeah. Hey, you're also talking to people who just want to enjoy, like, watching him look gross. Yeah. So it's fine. So another thing is to create Cropsy's distorted POV shots, the cinematographer rubbed Vaseline on the outside edges of the camera lens. Amazing. Because it really did look very I was like, what the fuck am I looking at?
I know. And like, I think now, like, thinking back on it, it makes sense because I don't doubt that his vision was also fucked up from the burns, I'm assuming. Or maybe that's just straight up his POV from all the skin flaking around his eyes.
That's why
something.
I was like, I mean, because it looked like whenever they showed his face, it looked like he was kind of sunk in or pushed in, or I don't know. So I mean, I can only imagine. Which I mean, I can see how it can help because Vaseline has like that consistency of like if you rub it on something, it looks gross, like all blurry.
Kind of like when you put like. I don't know.
Something on your camera lens or like even if you put it on your screen, like on your phone or something, and then you try to wipe it off and it just makes it worse.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty smart. I like that. So another one and last one is the film, which has a similar storyline to Friday the 13th from 1980. According to the special effects makeup artist Tom Savini and the DVD documentary Blood and Fire Memories with Tom Savini. It was actually written before Friday the 13th from 1980. Mm-hmm. So this script was sitting on for a bit of a time.
It's kind of giving like that Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer vibes, because wasn't I Know What You Did Last Summer written before Scream?
But then Scream came out first, and then they brought out.
Yeah. So moral of the story: if you have
an idea or a script idea, just do it because guess
it's
what?
It's going to be recreated, and that second, like that one that was recreated is going to do better.
It's going to do better, and then you come out with yours that you were like, mine was the original, but no one's going to know that.
Yeah.
So if you have the idea, just put it out there.
Do you think that, and of course, like, again, I didn't really know about this movie prior to this year.
Me either.
So obviously with Jason and Michael and Freddy and all that, they always die and they always come back. Right. We did see Cropsy, like, straight up die. Like, he had his face smashed in by an axe by Todd. Mm-hmm. Do you think it would have been too much if they would have done, like, a sequel with him coming back to life? Because I think it would have been a little too much, just because unless they're trying to come up with some, like, supernatural shit.
Right.
You know, like, Michael, at this point, I don't know what the fuck he is.
I don't either. I'm very lost as to what Michael was or is or whatever the case is. I was actually thinking about that too, because I was like, if there was a sequel, I'd want, I think, a prequel. Like, I'd want to know why they wanted to prank him so badly. And because, like, the way that the boys were, like, explaining him, they were just like, he's such a bad caretaker, and he's always drunk, and he's always, like, was he that bad?
He did.
Like,
one of the kids did say that he beat up one of the kids really badly the summer prior.
Okay. But, like, is that true? Or is that a rumor that they heard? Or, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I would like to kind of know a little bit of Cropsy's story. I would like a prequel. But I don't think this is something that I would also turn into a franchise because of how Jason turned out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think this is also a very good example as to, like, just let it ride. It's a good one. Yeah. Leave it alone. Yeah. It doesn't need something after it. It doesn't need something that needs to turn. Not everything needs to be a franchise.
I agree.
Unfortunately,
put that on a t-shirt.
Right there.
Write that down.
Write that down. That is not everything needs to be a franchise. I agree. And I don't think this one has a remake either.
I don't think so.
Not everything also needs a remake.
I was going to say, like, I'm genuinely content with this movie, and I don't think it needs a remake. I obviously don't think it needs a franchise at this point. Yeah. But if for some reason someone wanted to remake this movie, I would watch it.
See, that's the thing. And then I thought about, I was like, maybe if I think what I would accept is a remake, because I do think that if this movie was made now, I think they would do it a little bit better, obviously, because like we have better equipment and better like, you know, works around the CGI, yada yada. But then I also thought about like, would they do it like play to play, like the whole nudity scenes and like the whole Eddie scene, which I mean, it adds to the story. My thing going back to Alfred was like, he didn't even have like a what is it, like a character building or character I'm completely lost as to what type of character Alfred was supposed to be, because and then we see Todd still trying to protect him at the end, but I'm like, I need to know, like, is he just a shitty person, or was he really trying to like?
For a second, when Todd was looking for Alfred, you know, when Todd was like Alfred or whatever, like basically looking for him. Yeah. I thought it was because he thought he was the killer.
Oh, me too. He was like, oh shit,
yeah,
we got a killer on our hands.
For him.
Yeah.
And then obviously with my horror brain, I was like, Todd is going to find Alfred and he's going to try to kill Alfred because he's the killer or whatever.
Right,
and like I was just thinking all these different things.
Yeah.
But no, it turns out that he was like, where's he at? Because there's this killer on the
loose.
You know?
Yeah. So that was my only thing. But anyway, no, yeah, so I think that's the thing. I like this movie as a standalone and everything. If there were to be a remake, I'd also watch it, but I'd want to see what they would do with it. Right. But even if there's not a remake, like this is one of those good ones that just leave it alone. It's a good one. It's a typical 80s slasher. Mm-hmm. Like you can't get any better than that. It is what it is. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree.
Love that. All right, so moving along with the episode a little bit more, I think it's time to play a little Would You Rather? Yeah! So, for this movie, would you rather be one of the teenagers that pulled a prank on Cropsy and have to live with the guilt, or attempt to escape from Cropsy and his garden shears and his burnt ass face?
Bro. So, I think garden shears is also something that's a little unique, like as a weapon. Yeah, because he was a caretaker on a summer camp. Like I can only imagine all the things he had to try to cut down, weeds, tree branches, like all that stuff. So I think it was pretty clever. Yeah, as like a, I agree. Like as a weapon. So I thought that was also cool. I think I would try to escape him. Because I would like to try to, like, final girl him. You know what I mean? Like, try to be like...
I'm not going to lie. And just because you said final girl, I thought Alfred was going to be the final boy.
I thought so, too. No, I agree. I thought so, too. But no. But I think I would want to try to run...
This whole time... I don't know why. It's just coming all to me right now. This whole time, I thought Alfred was the main character until Todd... Like, until we get that backstory from Todd. Yeah. And then I was like, wait, so Todd is the main character. Ish. Because if you think about it, it's Todd and Michelle in the front cover of the movie.
It is. Yeah. That's very true. That is very true.
I don't know who I thought that... Like, there were so many main characters.
It's because... I will say it's because it does give... Like, I think we see a lot of each character, which I think is cool. Yeah. Like, I think it's nice because...
I don't think that we were overpowered with the amount of information we got from each one of them.
No, not at all.
Because I know that there are some movies where, you know, they try to introduce all these different fucking, like, characters, and we're like, hold on, like, I'm
it's
still
not that
processing
great.
the other character or whatever. But with this movie...
We get, like, a good amount of people, and then, like, there are some that are truly bad characters, like, everyone who was in the summer camp and everything, but I think for everyone that had...
What's screen time?
Like screen time, just, you know, like I thought it was good. I thought it was a good amount. So I guess I can see that too, because I was like, Alfred? Is it like, or is it Sally? Because I was like, we saw a little bit too much of Sally, but we saw Sally quite a bit, and so I think it's good that we saw a little bit of everyone, but I can see that.
Yeah, I think I would also want to attempt to, like, escape him, just because I already live with enough guilt.
Absolutely.
Because I was raised Catholic.
Me too. Like, I don't need any more.
I don't need any more guilt.
I'm about to sin again.
Oh, stop. Ayo, Christ.
I'm about to sin again.
A great song.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I would also want to attempt to escape from Cropsy. Yeah. I love the chase scene.
Oh, yeah, same. And, well... Like, theoretically. I don't like it in, like, haunted houses or anything, or being literal. Being chased definitely is scary. Yeah. Like, literally. My fear is not being able to... My fear is getting caught, obviously. Yeah. But, like, I truly do believe that I'm not fast enough, which is why I get scared of being chased.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there. Anyway, but theoretically in my mind, like in these would you rathers, I'm Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Like I'm in one block, I'm in another in the next 2 seconds.
I'm the supernatural bitch in this.
Absolutely, I'm supernatural. Yeah. So yes, I'd rather do, because then see, the guilt is not really what bothers me in like pulling a prank, because like I said, like what we said in like what our answer was in I Know What You Did Last Summer. Like, I'm running him over and not telling a whole soul. Right. Like, I'm taking that to the word myself. You know, that guilt, I'll work through it. It's fine. And so it's not this. I think it's just that I would need to know a little bit more about Cropsy in order to be like, yeah, I'd pull a prank and kill his ass. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, to give the benefit of the doubt a little bit, I'd rather get chased by him.
Do you think, and maybe they did mention this, but do you think Cropsy knew that Todd was that Todd?
Do we know what?
Do you think Cropsy...
Oh, like if he knew that was Todd? I don't think he did.
I feel like there's a part of me that thinks he did know.
That he did know?
Yeah.
So then we both choose to run away from him either way.
We both choose to run away from Cropsy and his burnt ass face and his little garden shears.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Yeah. We keep it at that.
I love that.
All right.
Well, let's go ahead and rate this movie before ending the episode. Now, this is a horror movie, so we will have our 2 scales of satisfactory and scary. Just because a horror movie is good does not always mean it is scary, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
So, Monica, what do you rate this movie?
Thank you. For scary, I'm rating it a solid 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
I wasn't scared. I was very entertained. I think that's the best thing. So I wasn't that scared or spooked or anything. I did think it was really cool. So my scary scale for me is a 2. Cropsy did look pretty scary though, and I will say the mask that Eddie used like during the campfire scene was also really weird looking. I was like, ew. So that one was pretty creepy, but I mean the concept, there's gore and stuff, so you know, a little bit of a 2. Satisfactory was a solid 7 out of 10. I liked it as an overall movie. I enjoyed it. This for me is one of the movies that I'd be like, I'd watch it again. Like if somebody was like, I've never seen it, I'm like, let's watch it. Yeah. And then if the person was like, I hated that, I'm like, I don't blame you. But like I liked it for what it was. You know, it's very simple to the point.
Like again, it's not going to be in our top 10.
Right.
Or
exactly.
top 20.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
just a good movie. Like it's just there. Yeah, it's a good slasher 80s slashers movie for like my babies who want to get into horror and they want to start off with like old movies. Start off something like this because it's gory.
Yeah.
Do keep in mind that there's a lot of nudity, but like it's typical for a lot of slasher movies, unfortunately. So just, you know, it's there. It's entertaining. That's the best thing that's the best way I can put it. But it's a good 7 out of 10. Yeah. For me. What about you?
Same here, quite literally.
Yeah.
Scary, 2 out of 10. There were obviously some scenes where I was like, eek! You know, like very minimal.
Bro, the scene where so there was one jump scare that actually got me, which is where Todd is circling the burnt down whatever, and he is okay, so that scene is very long because it's very quiet, and he's circling trying to find Alfred.
They kind of lost me during that scene. I was like,
okay, guys, what's going on? He's just circling what felt like 15 minutes. It was just circling and then just watching. No flashbacks yet or nothing. He was just circling. And then out of nowhere, Cropsy pops up. And then that's what scared me. Cropsy, when he popped up out of the water, when he was about to do the mass killing, that scared me too.
I will say, that did also get me because I wasn't expecting
that.
There was
a few jump scares.
I was expecting for them to find Sally.
Exactly.
I will say, like you mentioned, during this campfire scene where Todd is telling the story and all of that, and the glove pops up behind Sally.
Gosh,
I was like, in my mind, I thought it was kind of like I didn't think it was Cropsy.
It's kind of like a ghost hand or something.
Huh?
Like a ghost hand.
Yeah, I thought it was, you know, like a little
moment,
but I didn't really think it was going to be an actual human, which was Eddie, you know. I thought that was pretty scary on itself.
It was pretty scary. It was pretty creepy.
It was very creepy.
It has its little moments, you know.
Yeah. Satisfactory, same, like 7 out of 10. Didn't hate it, didn't love it. Again, like if my sister in the near future or anyone is like, hey, I want to watch it, I'll be like, cool. Like, you know, I can also watch it.
I'll watch it with you if you want me to. Yeah, for sure.
But another thing that I wanted to ask too is we have now covered 3 80s summer slasher.
Yes.
Camp slashers.
Camp slashers.
Okay.
Yeah, summer camp slashers.
We covered Friday the 13th.
Yes.
We covered Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah.
And we have covered The Burning.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question for you, Monica.
Yes.
What do you rate them 1 to 3? 1 being your favorite, 3 being your least favorite.
So I don't think this is gonna come to too much of a surprise, but I will put The Burning first above, and then I put Sleepaway Camp, and then I put Friday the 13th. That's like number 20. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I really wish I liked that classic. I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't.
No, I get it. I mean, I don't blame you.
I just don't. But I like the theme of it being a slasher. Like it's the classic slasher camp summer movie. You know what I mean? So like I'll give it that. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. Well, we already reviewed the movie, so I feel like you know what I mean, or like what I feel about the movie. It's a good one. It's fine. Like, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
I did like The Burning better than I liked Sleepaway Camp. Sleepaway Camp, I don't know what it was about it, because I did enjoy the elements of it, and I thought it was entertaining. And yes, the ending was very like, what the fuck? Yeah. So I give it some points. I definitely, it's not a terrible movie, but it's not my personal favorite. But I did like this one better. I don't know what the main difference was really between the both, because to me they have they're very similar.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just like this one better. I feel like this one was also just a little more like
it had more horror elements in it, you think?
It did. Yes, because I also feel like Sleepaway Camp was just a lot of dialogue.
Yes, I
agree.
agree.
A lot of like, maybe?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
No? Yes? Predictable.
Okay.
The Burning is very predictable.
Yes.
Which, for an 80s slasher, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to, like, we know that's the killer.
Yeah.
And Sleepaway Camp did a really good job of being, like, I'm going to make you guess who the killer was.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to kind of put some thought into it. But I was like, I don't really want that. Right. I just want, like, some good kills. Yeah. And I feel like we didn't get a lot of cool on-screen kills the way that we did with this one. Right. Like, I don't know.
With me, I think I'm going to have to switch the two.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's Sleepaway Camp number 1, The Burning number 2, and like you said, Friday the 13th at number 20.
Yeah.
For reasons, of course. Yeah, I don't know. And listen, this could just be me being biased, but I think, and I don't know why this is my mentality, but I think I'm putting Sleepaway Camp as number 1 because it's the first one that I watched.
Okay.
Maybe if I had watched The Burning first
and then watch, I don't know, I feel like you would have.
I would have put Burning as number 1, but yeah, Sleepaway Camp, I thought it was pretty fun. Now, don't get me wrong, it was fucking weird.
It was
for many fucking reasons. Like the really fucking weird. Mom, what's his name's mom?
Yeah, the mom / aunt. Very weird.
She was very weird. The ending to me, I'm still very confused. Like both all 3 movies are very uncomfortable and very weird and very
in
what
their
the
own
fuck
ways.
Did I just watch?
Absolutely.
But they're the type of what the fuck did I just watch that I'm like, okay, like I can deal with it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I think, because, I mean, to be fair, Sleepaway Camp came out before Friday the 13th and The Burning.
Sleepaway Camp came out after all of them.
Was it 84?
83.
Why do I keep thinking it came out in the 70s? Shit. Okay, never mind. My timeline is very long. Wrong.
Okay, so Friday the 13th came out 80.
Burning 81.
The Burning 81. Sleepaway Camp 83. But if you want to be technical or whatever, The Burning was written before
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah. And it did so much better.
And it did.
It did. I liked it better, at least.
IMO, bro.
We got to put that in there.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
In my personal opinion.
I am P.O.
In my personal horror professional opinion.
There we go.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure we
clarify that.
Clarify that immediately.
But yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
No, I feel like even if you had watched The Burning before Sleepaway Camp, I still think you would have liked Sleepaway Camp a little bit better. Which there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I like the elements of it, but I didn't like it as a horror movie.
Yeah.
I liked The Burning better as a horror movie.
Yes.
And an overall theme better than Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah. I will say, though, I think baseball was a huge trend.
It was.
In a summer camp in the 80s.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
both very good movies, both movies that I would be willing to rewatch if they were already on, and you know, I happen to walk by the room that it's playing, and I'm like, oh, like I'll sit down and watch it.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure. Yeah, I think if you haven't seen this movie, definitely give it a try.
Yeah,
because it's a good 80s slasher, and I did not. You know what I also think helped is that I had really low expectations for this movie.
That's true.
Almost every rating that I saw in this movie, it was like 3 stars.
Yeah.
3 stars.
Out of 10?
Out of 5.
Oh, okay. That's not horrible.
No. Yeah. It's not bad. Like, it's one of thme that's like, it did the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, it was giving me very summer, which I liked.
Yeah. So, made me want to take a little swim.
It did. I was like, I want to go some water. I did like the scene where all the girls are like on the dock far out in the lake, and then they all like all the boys jump in and swim, and I was like, y'all making that nasty crusty water looking real good.
Yes,
because lake water, no thank you. All right,
anyway, well guys, I think this concludes this episode on The Burning. We obviously had a lot to say about this movie, and I feel like we could still go on for ages.
We could,
but it looks like we're nearing the end of the episode. As always, this was a blast to record, like we say in every episode. If today's episode intrigued you and you haven't watched this movie and you would like to, you can watch it for free on Tubi, or you can watch it through a subscription on YouTube, AMC Plus, Amazon Prime Video, MGM Plus, and Sling TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I watched it on Amazon Prime, because I have Amazon Prime.
Cool. I watched it on Tubi.
On Tubi, yeah, because it's free. Free 99.
Free 99. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us on this episode of Scream City. We appreciate you guys for taking the time to listen and be a part of our horror community. Your support means the world to us, and if you follow us on Instagram, you know that we recently just hit 700 followers,
We're
which
so excited.
is so cool.
It is really cool.
I feel like we're gonna get in the thous.
We're gonna hit 1,000 pretty soon, and I'm very excited. And we're trying our best to stay active and to keep continuing. So continue to DM us on just some things that you guys want to talk about, what you want to see us talk about. We do typically like to have a lineup of our movies ahead of time, but let us know if there's something that you want us to review, and then hopefully we can fit it in somewhere.
And again, if you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving a review.
Yes.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Consider leaving a review or sharing it with your friends and family. And if you want to keep up with us, we will have our social media in the summary description.
Yeah, we seriously can't thank you guys enough. But with that being said, if you like today's episode, please tune in to next week's episode where we talk about the new film coming out this Friday, Talk to Me.
Talk to me, boy.
The new A24 film. And I emphasize that because this movie is already out, just not in the US, because it is a British. It's a British movie.
I was going to say, I heard some accents in that trailer.
Yes, it's a British movie that won the It won an award.
The Sundance?
Is it Sundance? I think it's... I don't know my horror awards. I'm so sorry.
I think it's Sundance. I really do think you know what?
So, okay, so we're not wrong. Sundance Film Festival is actually a thing. Mm-hmm. And this movie, I think, won an award for that.
Okay.
And A24 saw the film, or like, the people from A24, and was like, how about we snatch that, and we make it an A24 film, because that bitch was good.
Damn.
I don't know if you've seen it. I think I sent it to you, where there's a TikTok of every actor who's in the movie, and they find out that A24 wants to buy the film, and they are all so excited, like crying excited. And that made me like even more excited, because I was like, you're passionate. 2, A24 said they want to buy your film.
Girl, if A24 were to even look my way,
I'd be like,
I'd be like, hi.
Yeah, no. So this movie is already out. It's been out. It came out last year in 2022, and then A24 saw this and was like, "Hey, this is gonna look real good on our film list. It has some potential." So I don't think they remade the movie or anything. I really do think that all they did was slap their name on it.
Okay.
And I'm really excited, because if it was good enough for A24,
it's gonna be good enough.
It's gonna be good enough for me. Because you know me, I'm a whore for A24 films.
My sister isn't. really.
I love almost
an A24 horror.
Every A24.
I wouldn't consider myself an A24 horror,
I
but
am.
like I don't hate their movies. You know what I mean? Like I haven't watched Midsommar, which cancel me, whatever. I didn't hate Hereditary.
I loved Hereditary.
It left me a little confuzzled. Not confuzzled, but like, you know me and my psychological shit, you know, whatever. Like I get kind of creeped out or whatever. I didn't hate Hereditary. I haven't watched Midsommar, so I can't say shit about that one. Although basically at this point, I feel like I've watched the entirety of it because of how much it gets talked about and like all the scenes that I watch on TikTok and stuff. But I am very excited for Talk to Me.
I really hate to say that I have some expectations for this movie that I really don't want to be disappointed for. So I'm trying my best to not be like... I just don't want to get my hopes down.
I'm going to go in it like very... nothing like personal.
So I don't think what I'm putting in my head is it's not going to be a 5 out of 5. But maybe a 4 out of 5.
I will say that the only thing I'm going to go into it with or whatever is there are going to be scenes that I'm like, ooh, I just shit my pants.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
At least one. That's all I ask for, just one.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going for 3.
Okay.
I'm going for 3, and I feel like there might be more, but my number is set at 3.
Have you seen the preview to it?
Yes, but I always forget it.
Me too. Don't watch it.
Okay.
So I watched it. I haven't seen it either. I'm just telling you not to watch it only because I want us to go into this blind a little bit. I watched the preview when they first talked about like it coming out. Yeah. And whenever I saw the TikTok and stuff, and I was like, what's this about? The plot of the movie, I'm not obsessed with because I'm kind of like, okay, I've seen that before. Yes. And every time that I see this plot done in a horror movie, it doesn't end well.
Yeah. But
if it was good, and I will say this again, if it was good enough for A24 to be like, we want to slap our name on that, it's good enough for me.
Okay. Sounds good.
But let me tell you something.
Oh.
I will be very upsetty spaghetti.
Okay.
If this movie's not good.
Okay.
And A24 films
slapped their name on it.
And I'll be like, what the fuck is this?
What the fuck, A24?
What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay,
all right.
moving on.
Okay. Well, listen, we kind of forgot that we were talking about The Burning in this episode. So
Monica, right.
Monica, before we end this episode on The Burning, 1981.
Thank you for reminding me.
Of course.
Thank you.
Monica, do you think this week's movie was a movie?
Thank you so much for bringing me back.
Yes,
I thought it was a movie.
Okay.
It was a movie.
It was a movie.
Yeah. Like, it was a movie.
Okay.
You know, like, I definitely don't think, like you said, it's not in my top 10 or even top 20, but it's a movie that I would be willing to show people for, like, shits and giggles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, y'all want to watch a little 80s, like, slasher film? Y'all should try watching this. It's pretty good. It's a little cringy because it was made in the 80s, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
Give it a try. Yeah. So, it was a movie.
Okay.
Did you think it was a movie?
I thought it was a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't think it was a movie, but
no,
but like,
trust me, we've seen some of those.
We have seen some of those.
We've seen some movies, ma'am. And this wasn't one of them. But that's okay. Not every movie has to be a movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there you guys have it. Again, thank you so much for all of your support and patience as we kind of work our way around some stuff here in our lives and in the podcast itself.
Yes.
We will talk to you guys next week. And as always, we've been your hosts, Jessica
and Monica.
Stay safe
and stay spooky.
Oof, that was scary. I can't wait to come back next week.